Trump is famous for the art of the deal. I think he should probably be as famous for the art of the fall or the art of the avoidance. And, you know, in Moscow, if you loudly disapprove of the Kremlin, sooner or later, you will experience an unexpected interaction with gravity. Enter Vadim Strorykin, a musician of moderate renown and regrettably no longer alive, somebody who is not who was not in possession of a safety harness. He fell from his 10th floor window, making yet another unfortunate case of what might be called Russian aerodynamic descent. Officials, in their usual deadpan delivery, are investigating the incident, which is, of course, a euphemism for ensuring that no inconvenient questions are asked. And meanwhile, across the sea, Donald Trump has set his sights on another ambitious construction project, $100 million ballroom for the White House, because naturally, when faced with questions about state dinners in tents, a leader of Trump's vision doesn't simply answer, he builds. The former president, known for his architectural ventures, some legal, some less so, promises to fund the grand ballroom himself, provided, of course, that Trump, the president, finds the offer that Trump, the mogul, is acceptable. This level of bureaucratic intrigue is impressive even by Russian standards. But the real show, the moment of global theatre that promises to outdo even a Mar-a-Lago gala, is the impending meeting between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. And Russian state media reports that preparations are at an advanced stage, which is Moscow's way of saying we've picked the room, booked the translators, and locked up the dissenters. Leonid Slutsky, the chairman of the Duma's International Affairs Committee, assures us that this will be a substantive conversation touching on nuclear arms control, global energy prices, and the Ukraine war. Though given the players involved, one can assume actual discussions will be more about leverage, optics, and personal survival. I mean, one of the things which I think is so extraordinary, let's be honest, this is a meeting of two men for whom power is not just a privilege, but a legal necessity. Both Putin and Trump are, in their own ways, clinging to office with the tenacity of a man dangling from a windowsill, knowing full well that letting go means a swift and unpleasant end. Putin needs the presidency not just to continue his imperial projects, but to avoid facing the consequences of the many, many accidents which have befallen his critics. Trump, meanwhile, faces a litany of legal challenges that could see him swapping his gilded penthouses for something more penitentiary in design. Both of these people, Putin and Trump, are narrowly avoiding prison. And yet, as the meeting looms, we're left with the great absurdity of our age. One strong man, one salesman, discussing the fate of nations while one commissions a ballroom and the other eliminates inconvenient musicians. If Strorykin's death tells us anything, it's that the Russian state still considers defenestration an acceptable answer to protest. If Trump's ballroom fantasy tells us anything, it's that he still considers real estate an answer to, well, everything. And in the end, the upcoming Putin-Trump summit is less about diplomacy and more about survival. The former KGB officer and the former reality TV star will meet, not as heads of state, but as two men evading their respective collapses. And somewhere in the background, another dissenter will take a fateful step near an open window, and another tent will be erected on the White House lawn, proving that some traditions, no matter how absurd, really never die.